Welcome to Program 5, See Through Angels' Eyes. This is a first of its kind series on certain selected higher and lower vibrating dimensions referred to by Christians as heaven and hell, and what it feels like to be in there with the help of Militia, the cosmic signs to be awake but see and hear in other dimensions. In this fifth program of the series, we share information on dimension 16, Lightside, which differs from all previous Lightside dimensions. The name of this dimension is KILAIG.
Yes.
Named after the Super Creator Hefkenam who created it. Good day to our friends watching the Baramis Tower of Light programs. My name is Ibulama, or Nikita as most of you know me. Today we start with the fifth of seven new programs for 2024 titled See Through Angels' Eyes. With me is Altizator, or Ernst Jordan, as most people know him. Ernst is the CEO of Baramis Tower of Light here on Earth. In today's program, Ernst will be sharing wisdom on the kingdoms here on Earth and in higher dimensions far away from Earth, as seen and experienced by Altizator himself. 3 programs in this new series deal with information on selected light side kingdoms, 3 programs on selected dark side kingdoms, and 1 program that will be a surprise. Most Western people as Christians find it hard to believe that a person can see and experience what is going on in other much higher and or lower vibrating dimensions. It is possible to use the cosmic science Militia by which you can see and experience other dimensions. Please help us reach other people who need this information by pressing the subscribe, like and share buttons, and as well as that little bell icon for you to be in line for more of these programs. For more information on Ernst Jordan, you can visit our website, Baramis Tower of Light.
Thanks, Nikita, and hi to all Baramis Tower of Light friends out there. For the sake of new friends watching Baramis Tower of Light series for the first time, I would like to explain the following necessary information which will help you to understand this section of deity science. There are endless light side dimensions as well as endless dark side dimensions, and each dimension houses its own 49 to the power of 49 sub and 49 to the power of 49 sub dimensions with its own planets, its own psychic and spiritual higher or lower developed life forms and humanities. Each planet houses its own animal and plant kingdoms. These life forms live on planets on the outer side, in the crust of planets, as well as in inner planets or even inner moons, just as our planet Earth does. No human eye can investigate higher and or lower vibrating dimensions. If you see in dimension 4, which is a crossing over dimension, it is only because you are partly physically or psychically developed and see with your eyes as your first set of senses. Not the human bodily eyes, your eyes as a consciousness giving life form, giving consciousness to that body. In one of the programs in last year's series of programs, which was in 2023, I named a few cosmic sciences recently kind of rediscovered by me, of which one cosmic science is named Militia. If you are interested in, or if you are a reality deity philosopher researcher like I am, the Baramis writings as well as the knowledge of the cosmic science Militia should without any doubt be part of your researching toolkit. If you study the Baramis writings from Book 1, Course 1 onward until the end, and you practice what you studied in the Baramis writings, you will be able to experience what I experienced and still experiencing. That is if you are a true Lightside Kingdom representative on Earth. The true Lightside Kingdoms are luckily not accessible for grey or dark side representatives on Earth or anywhere else. Melissa is the cosmic science that I make use of to look and experience into much higher and or much lower vibrating dimensions, to see and experience as a consciousness-giving life form, a vision, either in such a realm itself or on a planet in such a dimension. To be able to tap into more higher or lower dimensions, I additionally use different frequencies of hertz vibrations that you can download from the internet as well. The reason is as follows, and you must remember this now. Remember, I am not the body of flesh you see when you look at me. I am the consciousness-giving life form, giving consciousness to this body of flesh. I, as a consciousness-giving life form, need to vibrate very high to see and experience other low vibrating dimensions. The higher I vibrate, the lower my body of flesh vibrates. I did not know in advance where I would be allowed to experience what I needed to experience for this series, but because I knew that this time I actually expected I was going to a high vibrating true light side realm, I used delta brain waves to bring the hertz vibration of my body of flesh as low as possible. You know, it's so interesting. A lot of those delta vibrations will tell you it is for deep relaxing and sleep. This is where the catch come in. Your body must kind of sleep in the beginning, but you mustn't fall asleep with the body. You must stay awake. In other words, almost paralyzed what body is concerned, or as far as body is concerned, and then you can tap in. Remember the golden rule. When the body of flesh vibrates high, you, as a consciousness-giving life form inside that body of flesh, will vibrate low. If you need to enter a high vibration light side dimension, you need to get the body of flesh you give consciousness to vibrate what? High or low?
Low.
Low, yes, yes, yes. During each tap-in, we make use, or we make sure that our house is sacred space. I paratose myself and my team before I begin. This is standard procedure. When you want to try it also, remember, it must be sacred space. No earthbound spirits or negative energy or cluttered atmosphere or demonic entities inside you or outside you. Sacred space. Without this, you cannot enter the true light side dimensions. I mentioned a lot of what I saw during the past decades in the Brahman's writings. What I'm going to share with you in this program is what I was allowed to see in Dimension 16, light side, and planet KILAIG. That is a beautiful planet.
Ernest, you visited the 16th light side dimension realms by means of the Melissa tap-in method. Do other people know about this cosmic science?
Nikita, Melissa is the cosmic science of seeing, hearing and experiencing in other different vibrating dimensions, while the body of flesh to which you give consciousness is on earth. Now, most Buddhists, here's your answer, most Buddhists and members of the oldest religions on earth, coming as far back as 201,365,130 years back. Remember it. Or they make use of this cosmic science as well as true deity researching philosophers. A lot of Western people do what I do, although they do not know the name. I mean, a lot of Eastern people do what I do, although they do not know the name of the cosmic science they are making use of. I think a lot of them know the name, but they are not allowed to actually say it.
Adams, what you have experienced this time in dimension 16 KILAIG, can you tell us more about that?
Yes, Nikita. For this intapping, I made use of 528 Hertz vibrations. This is now when I'm starting. This must play in the background. The others have brought myself down now, the delta waves. And now this intapping was performed on the evening of August the 11th, 2023, right after the 8 o'clock evening mantras. This time I took astonishingly long before I was admitted to this dimension. Much longer than usual. You know, when you start the previous 4 programs, when we started with that, I mean, how long did it take to tap in? Maybe a minute or so. This time it took quite longer, and I didn't know why. Now, while waiting to be let into this dimension, I think it took much longer for me to be able to raise my vibrations to be allowed there. I heard the following teaching. This is so awesome. You know, when I heard this, I got goosebumps. Woe to him by whom one of my created human souls as humans come to a fall. You know, Nikita and friends out there, this speaks its own language. It carries its own message. If you see deeper, woe to him, anybody, whom one of my created human souls as humans comes to a fall. You know, it is horrible, but just focus on that words. I'll give you the explanation. Upon hearing these words, I spontaneously thought of the mass of Western people on earth who are going to be degraded after their bodies of flesh die, because of pastors and dominees and fathers who sell Satan's lie, or actually lies, plural, on Sundays to followers in exchange for a big salary. Pastors, dominees and other publishers of the lies who have studied theology and know nothing about true deity science. These Western people as Christians made their own choices to follow Christianity in what the masses prefer to believe in. It was their own choice to be part of Christianity on earth. The Third World War has already started, although the masses are too mind controlled to be aware of it. How many Western people as Christians are really ready to meet the end on earth here for this lifespan? How many of them? I kept focusing on the image in my mind for the universes around the earth. That was what I had to focus on. You know, you sit there, you close your eyes, you use your Mageda eyes, and you focus on being in space already. It's very easy because previously I've been there, so you can just remind yourself what it felt like and what did you see, and then you can tap in much more easily. That was what I had to focus on. I felt like I was tapping in, but still heading to where I needed to be. You know, you can feel you are there, but why? You don't see anything that is special, and now you start thinking maybe the shields prevent me to feel this. But in any case, then at last I saw and strangely formed skulls that began to form among the nebulas in the far space around me. I heard that it was very high dimensions Hefkenam's skulls, indicating how many trillions of high dimension light years each grew old before making use of new bodies. Now these skulls serve as directional indicators, almost like we see along our main roads on Earth. You know, it is as if there you know in which nebula what Torata or Hefkenam rules. And it's actually, you know, it's surprising for other people, not for me, to see. One would expect when you go up in higher light side dimensions, let's say to thousands, you know, the number 1001 or whatever, the people there, or the Hefkenams or the Toratas, will actually look different. They will look alien.
Yeah.
But now in this dimension 16, I also saw some of those faces, meaning they could be here in a lower dimension, not in dimension 19,001, but here in dimension 16. And maybe from there you can go and you will end up, you know, in dimension 190,006 or 9 or somewhere there, because they looked familiar to those that I know they live there. I focused on a dark part in the space within which I find myself as a consciousness given life form. Then in my vision mind I heard, "You seek me in the dark parts, find me in the light." Now guess who was speaking to me? You know, I almost get goosebumps. Not almost, I'm having goosebumps again. And I mean, it's months after when I did this in practice. Yeah, by then I knew that I was still on my way to the dimension realm where I was being prepared to go. I was not ready yet. I kept focusing on the picture of space in my mind around me. Then I heard the voice in my mind indicating, "Focus on what you see through your Mageda eyes." Mageda eyes? My eyes, not the body's eyes. This eyes, my eyes. Yeah, this means that with my body's eyes closed, I must look into my own, or through my own eyes, as a vision consciousness giving life form, which I do daily. And that is not, it's very easy to, you know, once you get it right, it comes automatically. After a while of intensive focusing, I experienced that I was on a planet. Now, this planet is not yet complete. The total area of the planet is full of sharp, broken rocks and nothing else. You know, previously, long before NASA ended up on Mars or somewhere, they showed us photos that we know is on Earth. We know the places, but if you look at those photos, you can see it is like rocks as far as you can see. And this is, okay, Mars, they will tell us the ground is kind of red and whatever. That was not red. That was, you can see it's rocks. It's still in a, you know, like a house that's still not complete. You cannot guess what the color of the house is going to be after being painted. Now, the total area on this planet is full of sharp, broken rocks and nothing else. I saw a purplish light shining on this planet. This was, I cannot tell you how interesting. Listen to this. I've written it down because I'm afraid I will forget it, so I'm reading it, but listen to this one. I saw a purplish light shining on this planet, although it is not a sun that shines. That light is only temporarily in place where the real sun, until the real sun that they are creating is completed. I was educated there that planets are being created from the inside towards the outside. Now this planet still needed ground and water. In other words, it hadn't had any oceans yet or ground in which you can plant something or whatever. So that was still, yes, it was still for the future, that planet. Now the core of planets, as they guided me to know, or lectured me to know, the core of planets in general is hollow and serves as a dwelling place for perfectly illuminated ones, the creators of the planet, as well as serving ones who should keep the planet in working condition. This hollow core possesses its own sun, nature, oceans, air, and all that is needed. Remember now, this is just a small little thing, a hollow thing that they built, but inside that hollow sphere there is a perfectly formed nature with its own sun. Everything is there. Now, on the outside of this hollow core, the middle planet is built with its own oceans once again. Yeah, you can think I'm talking rubbish. You will one day see what I meant. Its own suns and nature, but also an obscure section that functions mostly or almost like a factory, and the living creatures there are not always very friendly. You know, it looks like where you get here, if you enter a premises that you're not supposed to enter, there will be dogs, vicious dogs to attack you. Not there. It looks like humans, but it is different colors and it is very cruel, you know, if you see them. Yep. Now, yeah, then the guide accompanied me and advised me on the following. I had to train my Mageda eyes to see color too. Yeah, you know, and I just forgot, on the outside of that middle planet, let's call it Middle Earth, there's also, then you are outside, you can see. So in fact, the Earth, as an example, has a core, a hollow piece inside where all this Hefkenams and whatever lived, and what did we call the fully enlightened ones, they live there. Then there's a Middle Earth, also with the sun and its own oceans, and then on top of that, once again, the Earth as we know it, with its own sun far away, not inside the Earth or so as previously, etc. Now then, he asked me, the guy, to practice my Mageda irises to see color too. I understand that my eyes as a vision are not developed enough to see what I need to see during my journey, this journey. The colors on Earth that I'm used to do not exist in the dimension realm I need to enter. I focused on seeing Dimension 3's chakras colors in the form of cut precious stones. Purple is easy, and so is the rest, although it's not the colors I should be able to see in this dimension I'm going on my way to. I kept my human eyes closed, and then strange but beautiful colors started appearing. The first color to appear was the best shade of purple that I know of, that I could not before imagine existed. I must if I must mix this purple color on Earth, it is for me impossible. There are not something that I can mix to get that color. You know, it's too much of a shine. It's not ultraviolet. It is 100 times more, you know, sharper. And you will not be able, you know, it's like the wings of seraphim. What do you call them? Seraphim, angelical beings. You know, one day we talked to one, although Enrique or Zontara made a little joke. He said it's foul, which was that seraphim's name. Is it possible for you to leave us one small little feather of your wings when you depart? And he said, your human eyes cannot see my feathers, because if I allow you to see it, you will be blind within a trillionth of a second, never to see anything again. So you can imagine how sharp are those lights. You cannot see it with this eyes, but with the Megiddo eyes you can see it.
Yeah.
Although you can see, this is so different from what I'm used to. I don't even know what it is made up of to get that beautiful. The next color that appeared was an unknown shade of turquoise. Whenever I looked through my Megiddo eyes, I saw shades of these two colors, beautiful shades not known in our own color range on Earth. This purple I saw is the color representing the highest God of all gods. I say God, which actually God is low. You get the Hefkenams up until you get the Toratas and then the Torata rest. Now, I know the highest Torata Yahweh, Goria, his rope, from one previous connection with the highest Torata Yahweh, Goria, I know that the rope the Supreme Torata Yahweh Goria is wearing, or was wearing that day in his dimension time, is purple with a white hem bypass. It's so beautiful. Ordinary turquoise is the favorite color of my first guide, Isai. Many years ago, Isai took me to where he abided during his last life on Earth. That was in the Altai Mountains in Russia, where the color of the water is between emerald and turquoise. The turquoise I saw was on another high vibrating level. I know it's turquoise, but I don't know how to mix it. In the endless space around me, all the essentially visible nebulas had a giant wall swarmed up. In the space in front of me, the wall was 6 inches in height and 2 feet long. It's about what I see now in space. Is, let's say it's like this and like this, but it's a wall. You can imagine it could be a trillion light years high and 10 trillion light years wide, but it's awesome just to see it, you know. It is something I never saw before. On the wall, this was just as interesting. On the wall, symbols were visible of something reminiscent of trees of the same kind. You know, if you look at photos taken by Google Earth, for example, and you see mountain ranges on Earth, from the very top, it looks like patterns or messages or people walking. And this was the same, except it was in space. You know, so I don't know how high, how low, whatever. I just saw it from the one side. I saw what I saw. However, I felt it would be wrong to ask what that wall kept inside or outside. I knew that wall could hold dozens of universes due to its size, maybe hundreds or millions of universes. I don't know how wide it is. When I am on an in-tapping journey, I don't ask questions. What I need to know will be shown and described to me throughout the journey. You know, your guide is constantly with you. There are other Hefkenams and whoever are chosen to guide you through that. You know, if somebody comes to Bloemfontein here in South Africa, let's say overseas minister or so, they will take him for a tour Now this is exactly what happened here. This mindset of not asking unnecessary questions is part of the Lightside Deity's codes of conduct, and I respect that 100%. That is one thing I will never ever even try to overrule, because one mistake, you're out. They will not take you there if you, what is this, what is this, the whole time. No, you go there, what you need to know, they will tell you. The rest you can take note of, but don't ask questions. You never speak first. Guides as well as deities know what we individually think. If it was necessary for me to know what that wall hid, they would have told me that. Now the true Lightside deity codes of conduct differ as day versus night from the code of conduct of the dark side kingdoms. This is very important. It is so interesting. This morning I saw a logo saying, take your future in your own hands. It's for a political party. This is so satanic, you cannot even imagine, because what does the Christian Bible teaches us? Where the Most High says, know me in everything you do, then I will straighten your path. Now they come and they say, take your future in your own hands. Sorry dear, I don't vote for you. You are from the Satan himself. Now the true Lightside deity codes of conduct differ, as I said, as day versus night from the codes of conduct of the dark side kingdoms. If on earth you are used to speaking first to superiors, I'm afraid there is unfortunately no place for you in the true Lightside kingdoms. You need to know the true Lightside deity's code of conduct. You need to respect and practice the true Lightside deity's kingdom's code of conduct first. Even here on earth, we practice to do that. And the old age people, I'm old age, but my grandmother, my earthly mother, they made use of this code of conduct, because this is where we were taught. Children will not burst into a room and start, Mammy, this and that. No. You knock on a door first. When they open it, you shut up until they ask you, yes, what can I do for you? Then you can speak. We were raised the old school way, and I'm so thankful. Otherwise, I had to do this also before I could have, go on a trip like this. The next outstanding object I observed was a door-shaped stargate, or a doorway. I don't know what to call it. If you get a round thing, you can say, okay, on Earth they refer to it as a stargate. But it could also be a portal, a door. That, I think, is a doorway, because it looked like a door. Huge pillars with a huge one there. And there was a kind of floor level as well. So, the stargate was a way ahead of me. I wonder how many light years, and how big is that stargate, and for who's making use of it. I looked through it and saw that the space on the other side of the stargate was colored the deepest blue fountain pen ink, with fine specks in it that I knew were also planets. If it can help you, especially you out there, they were with me when I did it. But if you're not there, but I mean they were here, I told them already in advance, or not in advance, but when I finished it, I told them. Now, if you stare into the night sky and you see this beautiful, it's not a black, but you know, you can see through it. And there must be a door. And if you look through it to see another color, immediately tells you that is a doorway or something leading to a place where the night sky will be that beautiful fountain pen ink color with the specks in it. Pink started to appear in places, and I was very happy about it. I was extremely glad that I could see pink. Pink represents what? Pure love in the true light side dimension kingdoms of the highest God of all gods, Toratere Yahweh Goria. And where do we read about this God? In the Christian Bible?
Psalm 91.
Psalm 91, yes, you can go and check it out. The fact that I needed to learn to see other vibrating color shades confirmed that even if you and I, as true light side representatives of the true light side deity kingdoms, we cannot see all that is to see. It reminded me of the reason why I could not see the so-called lights in the endless universe. Then my Magenta irises started to see the colors green and brown. Once again, not green that we know, but another green. It is green, but I haven't saw something, but it's beautiful. You know, it is as if all these colors could be any color. You look at it and it's purple, but if you look closely, it could be purple with lightning in it. You know, that kind of silverish. I don't know how to explain it, sorry. Yeah. I was so glad that I was given a chance to learn to see these unknown color spectrums. I realized and knew that my vision Magenta eyes had to learn to be able to see the colors of this place in space. My guide telepathically informed me that whatever should be visible to my eyes in this realm will become visible. I don't need to worry. You know, they can sense you with your own mind there. Why am I only seeing one color at a time or so, and then I remember the previous one, you know, you cannot just go in, you need to practice to see, because in there, that is why I said there's no place for nosy people or curious people in the light side realms. If you go there, there could be trillions of things. You will see only what you need to see and nothing more. My guide is yes, I read that. I realized that the higher the light side dimension, the safer the built-in systems are, such as that in this case, I am going to be able to see what I justifiably deserve, according to my swattings and my whatever, you know, the psychic and spiritual development level, to be allowed to see for my own training in the light side deity kingdoms. Now I will see what I need to see, although other high-ranked angelical beings will individually see what they needed or need to see. And that is applicable on all life forms in the light side deity kingdoms and realms. If you think of it, this cosmic law is applicable on Earth as well. Other consciousness-giving life forms around us in the atmosphere are invisible to ordinary human eyes. We as consciousness-giving life forms must learn to develop our first set of senses before we are allowed to see some of those normally invisible consciousness-giving life forms around us. The more we develop our first set of senses, the more different kinds of consciousness-giving life forms we will be able to see around us on Earth as well as during the afterlife, when you don't have this eyes to see with. Now, if you don't train your eyes, how are you going to be a born blind on the other side? Yes, I know what you think. It is absolutely true. A lot of people don't want to see a reality, and that is why the next life they are giving. They only wanted to see what they wanted to see. Now they take their physical eyes away. You are being born blind or get blind during life, and now you will be forced to use your eyes, not the body's eyes. So remember that if you want to be able to see in the afterlife, practice your eyes. As we moved on, unknown to me, colors of light blue and light green emerged from the black and became visible to my eyes. Slightly to our right-hand side, an endless wall of flames became visible. Then I heard from my guide that this is one giant shield that surrounds and protects a high vibrating nebula. I can just think what is inside there. What the true light side deities do on the other side of that flaming wall is not for me to know at this stage of my own psychic and spiritual development. But you know, to realize there how big that wall must be. Let's say there's 1 million universes in that flaming shield, which could easily be a round thing also, you know. It keeps something in, it protects something. But it is interesting, but I will not go and, you know, try my luck trying to see in there. Never, ever, 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 because that will be the last time they will ever allow me to go in there. Now on Earth, we as humans have also restricted areas like Area 51 in America and many more. Hidden places where humans as high-ranking military officers work and or abide. Now as below, so above, in the higher vibrating dimensions. Nikita and friends out there, then in front of us, a bottle green to black green nebula conjured up. Directly after that, an orange nebula conjured up. In the first bottle green nebula, the space around us was a kind of green. That was awesome. Because you must remember now, color is what? Vibration and vibration. Can you feel it or not? Of course you can feel it. Even if you are not psychic, if you go into a place and there's a very, let's say, a dark side entity waiting, you will automatically get, oh, I don't like this place, we're not alone here, you know. So, yes, and if you are entering a purple environment where the skies are purple, the whole universe there, or the space around me as far I can see with my Mageda eyes is purple, what will be the influence? It will heal anything that is not lacquer here. Because it's the most high color, you know, except for what coming after that, gold and white and whatever. But if you enter a green one, what can you expect to feel? Balance and harmony. Yes, yes. So if you go into an orange, what will it heal you? You know, in the first program, I think it was the first or the third, I shared with you that, you know, if anything in an angelical being or whoever goes there, if anything is wrong, you will be guided to watch a specific color. It will conjure up. And that is actually what you may need at that specific stage. So if you go through orange and green, especially the green, everything, why did they take me first through an orange nebula? What is here if you do spiritual healing? What is here where the orange color is?
It's your belly of
Your
breathing,
pre-lives and
yeah.
all that is there, you know, the stuff that bothers you, that you don't know what it is. So they cleared that up again. So it was first, you know, the purple and then whatever, and so we come down to the green. So after we in there, what will the green do? Put you in harmony. In the second orange nebula, the space around us was a kind of orange. I will not be able to mix these colors on Earth. Once again, I knew it had to do with my chakras as a consciousness giving soul body, and not, you know, it has nothing to do with the body or flesh in which I know we've got 7 chakras, but in case you don't know it out there, this personnel knows it already. We will not name them, but there are demonic third world visible demons on earth, living in swamps and in forests and whatever, and they only have how many?
3.
Like a visa. A visa has only 2.
2.
You know, and some animals also have 2 chakras. So I don't know if you're a chakra balancer, how can you take any nationality in? You know, your white people, the red people, and the yellow people, they all have 7 chakras. But the sub-races and those haven't got 7 there. How are you going if you don't know where to find the 2 chakras and what the color of those 2 chakras are? How are you going to do a chakra balance? I mean, it's hideous. It's not to say everything that looks like a human are human. But in any case, I am sure that you have the experience that the night sky above you will be purple. We had it here in South Africa a long time ago, and I asked the guides what was the meaning of this, and the first, only one word, spiritual healing. How awesome is that? And there in the universe I believed it, or I experienced it once again. If you can recall a purple night sky above you, you can imagine what a green or orange night sky will look like. You know, the other night we took photos of this beautiful white flower. What do you call it? The Queen of the Night or something. And the plant in the front yard has got, how many, about 40, 50 of those beautiful flowers. And we wanted to take a photo of each, which we did. But the street light was as yellow as this one, and shining through those trees, it gave an orange effect, as if, now that reminds me of there, because it's an orange that you can see right through, you know, so I can kind of, you know, imagine it to be the same, partly, but not everything, but it gives you an idea. Now, even the radiation vibration of these colors differs from one another. In each colored universe, I experienced a new feeling, which is most logically. What are you going to experience when you see, or you are in a turquoise environment? What would be activated immediately? The throat. The speak, you will become in the mood to chat. You know, because if this is closed up, what is the result? People holding back, they don't speak of their problems, all that rubbish. So it's need to go. Why does the night sky on Earth sometimes change to purple, specifically? Healing. In the northern hemisphere, those aurora lights, arborea, whatever, the green lights and the purple, whatever, there are so many of it.
LTs or modern Western humanities are being mind controlled to spend nighttime inside their houses watching television. I wonder how many Western people are outside their homes after sunset and during nighttime to experience the purple night sky. We know that a purple night sky represents healing of some kind. The same with the aurora borealis skies in the northern hemisphere on Earth. Look at the photos on the screen now.
Thanks for the correct answer, Nikita. We experience some of these colors on Earth. I would say a species of that color. You cannot say the same color. Imagine yourself being in space, where space all these colors are displayed. I know that was like in dimension 198, Lightside. I think it was the first program of the series. I know that Earth radiates these colors. I know that in all dimensions, from dimension 41 upwards, we find these colors, but in another vibrating color spectrum. Why? Why do you think there are these colors on those or in those high vibrating dimensions around planets there? Because the higher you go up, the more pure you become. That is there to keep you pure. Like I explained in the first program, how those colors keep us who goes there, we're allowed to go there in a perfect condition, that there's no dark side, anything in you. Now this is the same. That is why you see it in planets there. The photos you see on the screen give you an idea of what space above dimension 40 looks like. I know we get it on Earth as well, but it is partly, on Earth. It is not in the full night sky, let's say for millions of light years, around the Earth. So, yes. In the distance in front of us, outside the orange nebula, I saw the brightest dark blue tunnel flash. Now, what is dark blue? Mouth. In other words, what can you expect by going in there? In the Bible, what do you want?
Isn't it a calming effect as well?
A calming, of course. Blue is calming. Except for that blue was once again see-through, but in a shade. It is too shining to describe. I don't know. Maybe in 100 years there will be colors on Earth like that. But you need to see to believe it. But that tunnel of dark blue, my friend, is going to activate. In the Bible, somewhere Joshua Redopa, not Joshua Redopa, in the Old Testament, a prophet's tongue was usually touched by an angel, and then he could speak. You activate the voice. Now, if you're in the blue, of course it will activate your voice. So what is entering your mind? New wisdom, knowledge. That is what it makes it so awesome to go there. Yep. I think my guide is I saw that I was a little bit unnerved as to why I could only see one color or two colors in the realm at a time. Then my guide explained it to me as follows. In front of you is a blank painter's canvas. The painter will only begin to paint the background. Then the background is dry. He'll paint a second color somewhere on the canvas. As the painter paints color after color like layers on the canvas, whatever will be painted becomes visibly clear, piece by piece. My guide shared another ancient wisdom secret with me. On Earth, for example, with us learning and practicing to see other invisible to the human eyes, consciousness giving life forms around us in the atmosphere, I needed to learn to see these colors in advance. Now, if you're not learning to see with your first set of senses on Earth, How are you going to see what's going on around you after your soul transmigration? We must practice seeing other vibrating life forms around us. Otherwise, we will never get beyond the Buatsa, which is only the Duana, if I may call it so, of the true light side kingdoms. This is one reason most human souls cannot go beyond the Duana and keep coming back to Earth. One nebula begins to form in purple, blue, orange and white. Wow, that was a relief. At last I can see a lot of colors. It was much more clearly visible than the nebulas I had already seen in this realm. My guide and I traveled through different vibrating nebulas. My Mageda eyesight has notably improved. One nebula that conjured up in front of us out of nowhere was in the form of a lake with the most beautiful, deepest but transparent blue water surrounded by the most beautiful mountains seen from directly above. You know, that whole nebula looked like a painting, you know, like a painting. Let's say Michelangelo painted it also. It's beautiful. But you know, how do you explain going in space and when you look or you focus downwards, there you see this beautiful, you know, lake of water? I mean, really? What does a lake, what does it keep it there? The same that keeps the oceans there? But this was a new one. You know, just to look at it reminds you how things differ the higher you go or wherever you go into. You know, you can go into dimension 16 like in this, and you can experience a planet where, or a planet which vibrates it to be part of dimension 198 also. You can, Lightside, you can get it here. Now the next nebula that caught my attention, this one you must hear, was in the form of a hanging bell full of overhanging plants and flowers that I didn't know. To see a nebula in these forms was new to me. The colors there are incredible. You know, it is just the same. You know what a nebula looks like. It's a colorful nebula. There's no other name for it. But if you see a nebula and it looks like a painting just painted by someone in this beautiful, I mean, it's like a hanging basket of what is inside there. I mean, really, it's so beautiful you cannot even imagine a nebula to have these shapes. Yeah, the colors there are incredible. Then I saw a turquoise nebula. You know, this brought once again goosebumps, but also it brought back some memories. I will tell you now. This nebula's turquoise is also not describable by me. It displays like a giant cut precious green stone. I know no color or light on Earth that can produce such a turquoise green. Not any of the previous nebulas contained this one. I looked and I realized that I needed to be close to where I was supposed to be going. One outstanding feature of this whole journey is that I could not sense any radiation or radiation vibrations so far. You know, you can imagine what it must feel there, but remember, I didn't enter these that look like hanging baskets or whatever.
Yeah.
I just saw them.
Yeah.
It was as if emotion was turned off. Maybe because I needed to see what I needed to see would drive me to tears of joy. I had that impression, so I just thought by myself, keep on the shield, otherwise it's going to be a border once again. Now before me, oh sorry that I swallow so, but you know, to think back of it brings you so near to there that you
explained it again.
Yes, and then before me a further series of clusters of stars conjured up in different colors. Each grouping is unique in color and shape. I got the rehearsal that what I was seeing was dimension star houses of those deities abiding there. You know, if you think of it, we've got the Scorpion and the Aquarian and the Pisces and the Ram and whatever. This was now the answer. What was the nebula looking like? You know, basket with flowers hanging, or that other green stone. It was their star signs, which differ quite a lot of hours in any case. The green cluster displays the same type of green as the green of the halls of Amenti when shined up, you know, when you... I know it because I've popped in there before. Can you remember when that happened? But it was awesome. I mentioned it in a lot of books that have been written. Red was difficult to see in this dimension. Why do you think it was difficult to see? Red is not always a good color, because when you mix red and black you get the dark side, two main colors. I think this is something, but in any case
something that you needed to practice to see.
Yes, yes. You know, I don't want to see actually red and black mixed up there, because that will remind me of the dark side places I've been in. You know, you must think this. If you see something, it takes you months. I think in a 1 year's time I will still be thinking back to this, what I saw, and it will still bring new, you know, memories. Now, as far as I can tell, I see a porch red shining against something gunmetal blue, almost like red spots on the dark clouds here on Earth. I wondered where the colors came from. I mean, everything in space around me we were at the time was in those colors. But what makes those colors shine so that I can see it? You know, it must come to mind. You cannot be in space and you see all this nebulas, but in the nebulas you can see suns of different, but where does the color come from to light up the huge nebula as such? And if you go around it, it gives you other pictures. But in any case, then I heard there are lights that most consciousness-giving life forms' eyes cannot see. These lights are suns, but we cannot see it. And when those suns shine, I mean, those vibrations are too high, you can move right through it, it will not harm you. But if you go in there, what will happen?
Are you allowed to go in there?
You will not. No, if you even go through one of those suns, I mean, those suns must be about the size of, let's say, Canis Majoris, the biggest sun in what we know of, multiplied by 10 million. That must be about that. I mean, how far is the distance? You know, and how big is it? But it is good to receive an answer. It is suns. When they shine, you cannot see them, but it lights up what it needs to light up. In other words, there's no sunbeam. It's only going on here. You cannot see it, but there, it reflects whatever this is shining out. Their brightening allows different colors to become visible to my Mageda irises. If your physical eyelids are sewn directly after your birth, you will not be able to see anything during your lifetime on earth. I mean, it is just as do this and walk for the rest of your life like this with closed eyes. Now, if at the age of 50 you let go of your closed eyelids so that you can see, you will not be able to see immediately. The sharp light is going to blind you until you slowly get used to it. This is the same applicable in higher or lower dimension spheres. You, as a consciousness-giving life form, used your Mageda eyes before you were born. People remember that. You know, like in the Christian Bible, even Jeremiah refers to that. You can go and read it in Jeremiah 1. You know, where the Most High actually told Jeremiah, before I created you in the womb of your earthly mother, I knew you. Why? Because you were there. And before you went out of the body, I already decided you to be a prophet on earth. You know, so what did you look with there if you didn't have this body of flesh? You used your Mageda eyes and all the other senses of you as a consciousness-giving soul body. Now, you as a consciousness-giving life form used your Mageda irises, or let's say your first set of senses in whole, before you were born. You use it when you are not incarnated in a human body. Now, when you are incarnated as a consciousness-giving life form in a human body during birth, you use both sets of eyes to look through. As you get older than about 2 years of age, you reduce the use of your Mageda eyes and focus more on what you can see through your human eyes. You know, a little baby, it will look, I'm going not to look at you, but it will be like glary as this. And when they see you, the eyes focus. And when they look away and see something else that you cannot see, their eyes will be blurry again. They use it, but normally under Western humanities, you know, Mommy, I'm afraid of the room, you know, I see a man there. Oh, shut up! Yeah. There's no such thing as a ghost or so, you know. In the meantime, among the masses of Western humanities, the use of the first set of senses still expires before the child is 5 years old. That is average. Then they cannot use that first set of senses anymore. Why? Due to their own will or their mother's, you know, orders for them not to focus on it anymore. Yeah. It's horrible. This is one of the outstanding reasons why Western people choose to be part of a faith rather than to be in service of a true light side God, where they need their first set of senses. Due to Western Christian beliefs, Western children do not practice the use of their first set of senses. That is why the majority of Western people are spiritually and psychically blind. On earth, in the earthly school, a normal human school, if you do not learn to keep using your first set of senses, it's actually the earth as a school of learning when you're here as a human being, and you don't use it, you will lose their use. You should practice being psychic. This is one important lesson to learn in advance. Learn and practice to see in higher and lower vibrating dimensions, or face the possibility of never being able to cross over from Vuatse to the real Lightside kingdoms, you dream of doing or going to after your soul transfer or soul transmigration, or death, as Western people refer to it. Nikita, that is all that I am allowed to share with our friends out there. And you know me, I will respect it. I will not tell anything else. And this is what I may share with you people out there.
Arends, thank you for sharing this very needed information with our friends out there. Our personal individual views of the heavens differ from true reality. In the next program, which is program 6, Arends will share information on dimension Megadolate, which is a grey side dimension. Please subscribe to our website and please press the like, share and ring that little bell icon to be in line for more deity wisdom. Until we meet again, love and light to all of you. Bye-bye.
Bye.